It is possible to clap Ballora. After conducting a study on two of the most beloved characters in the world of FNAF, Ballora was the most requested candidate for our analysis. Appearing for the first time in Sister Locations, she is by far the most difficult animatronic we've ever had on this channel, and as always, I based myself on the game lore and on science to figure out what you could realistically do with her if you were the night guard. First of all, I need to give you a brief explanation of who Ballora is so you can better understand the problems we're going to face later in this video. Ballora is one of the four main animatronics of Circus Baby Pizza World. Visually, she is an elegant ballerina with an appearance that closely resembles a beautiful lady, but with a very different purpose. Her main function is to use her audio sensors to detect and repel adults from the pizzeria, which is ironic since she has a sweet and melancholic voice.
Admit it. You wanted to let me in.
She moves in an inhuman way, crawling along walls like a giant spider when she's off the stage. Besides that, the theory that she was modeled after William Zafton's wife add a layer of psychological horror that make any idea of contact even more disturbing and dangerous. But I doubt this is the case, and I won't consider any soul for this video. The robot alone is already enough. Okay, but what problems stop us from clapping Ballora, and how do we solve them? Well, due to her ultra-sensitive audio sensor engineering, Ballora ends up being different from other animatronics that rely on vision. She is guided almost entirely by sounds, which means that any movement or noise you make will activate her hunting mode and turn any try of physical contact into an immediate attack trigger. I also noticed that sometimes she is a ballerina spinning on her own axis, and other times she moves on four limbs like a spider. Scientifically, this means she has a high-speed torque joints. If you try to maintain any kind of contact with something that spins and moves in such an animalistic way, your bones will be broken by centrifugal force or by the impact of the metal. And if you thought that was all, there's another major problem, probably the worst of all, which is Ballora's own design. She does not have an endoskeleton like most animatronics. Instead, she's made of a set of outer plates that, when opened, reveal an internal structure of sharp teeth in her face and wires all over the body, with no visible opening to install any synthetic materials and no safe space in her mouth to try the method we use on Toy Chica. And any of those mechanical openings would cause severe cuts or amputations to a human. Basically, her entire body is designed to be beautiful but impenetrable. All of that even assuming that she would accept having some kind of relationship with you. But don't lose hope just yet. To solve the audio sensor problem, we only need to play some kind of noise at a specific frequency constantly in order to trick her AI, making it unable to distinguish the sound of your contact from the environment vibrations of the building. As for her animalistic movements, the only technical way to avoid them mid-clap would be to convince her to let us restrain her in the hydraulic support structure, preventing any such kind of freaky. You can clearly see this by her lines in the game.
These are strange circumstances that have brought us together.
Once she's on the hydraulic system, you can ask her to choose between the spider pose or the normal pose. The position depends on you and on her. Okay, so now we have an animatronic that wants you, is in favorable conditions for the act, and has her audio activation sensor corrupted due to our frequency masking. All that's left is to find a safe way to clank the clanker. Let's take a closer look at the 3D models made by fans. You see that in every opening there are thousands of intertwined wires. Those are synthetic muscles that contract and expand to give her that ballerina movements and the brute force to lift herself on four limbs. And they carry an absurd voltage. We could try to install something inside, but any attempt of cut a wire there will cause it to snap and turn into a metal whip that could easily slice your flesh. And even if you survive the whips, any cuts on her wires will likely damage its internal system, causing various malfunctions or even its complete deactivation, which is very bad for us. I'm sure that with top tier military equipment and a few $1 million, it might be possible to do her, but for mere humans like you and me, I'm sure there's nothing that can be done with this animatronic. My verdict for this character is that Ballora is not doable. Her beauty is superficial, and it's even ironic how something so beautiful can be one of the most terrifying animatronic in the series. I guess that in the end, Scott Cawthon managed to create an animatronic that people would want but couldn't achieve. If you find this video useful, consider subscribing to the channel to see other analysis of our favorite characters in the world of games or other media. I love you all. Bye.